Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing another experiment. So this means we're going to be testing out different things. Today we're going to be testing out different kinds of balls to see how high they are going to bounce. We're going to see which one bounces the highest all the way up and which one bounces the lowest, closer to the ground. So today we're going to be using 3 different kinds of balls. We're going to be using this very big tennis ball. We're going to be using this purple looking tennis ball, but it's really a dog toy. And we're going to be using this itty bitty ping pong ball. All right. So I don't know if you've ever used any of these before, if you ever held them. Maybe a tennis ball, but not this big. I don't know why it's this big. If you've ever held a dog toy before, it's kind of light. If you've ever held a ping pong ball before, it's the lightest. I would say this one's the lightest. And this one is the heaviest. And it makes sense because this one's actually the biggest and this one's actually the smallest. And in order to measure to see which one bounces the highest, we're going to be using a ruler. And I don't know if you know this, but a ruler is broken up into something called inches. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches in one whole ruler in one whole foot. So this ruler is 1 foot long. Not foot like my feet on the bottom of my leg that I use to walk. This is something that we use to measure. And we are really just going to focus on these little things called inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all the way up to 12 are the numbers we're going to be looking on. So I am going to put my number 1 on the bottom of the floor. And then I'm going to always measure from the bottom of my ball. I'm going to drop it from the from the top of my ruler. So the bottom of my ball is going to be in line right next to the top of my ruler, and I'm going to drop it. And we're going to see the first time it bounces because the balls might bounce a few times after they hit the floor. The first time it hits the floor and it comes up, we're going to watch it in slow motion, and we're going to see what number it just passes by from the bottom of the ball. We're going to see which one has the highest number because that will be the tallest and highest bounce. And the one that is lowest to the ground, closer to the number 1, is going to have the lowest bounce. So let's test them all out and let's see what we have. Freeze! I'm just kidding. What do we have to do first before we test out all of our things? We have to make a prediction. So with these 3 items, with these 3 different kinds of balls, which one do you think is going to bounce the highest? And which one do you think is going to bounce the lowest? And which one do you think will be right in the middle? Maybe they'll all bounce the same height. Maybe none of them will bounce at all. Maybe 2 of them will be the same height. Well, take a guess, make a prediction for each one. If you want to get extra special and specific, you can take a guess on how many inches each ball will bounce. So maybe I'll think my tennis ball is going to bounce 4 inches off the ground and my ping pong ball will bounce 8 inches off the ground. I have no idea. I've not done the experiment yet. That's why you make a prediction beforehand, because it's almost like a guess, and you're going to see if you're right afterwards. So make a prediction about each one, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move over to the floor and we're going to bounce each one on the floor and watch them in slow motion and see which one is the highest. Alright, now I'm set up on my floor. I'm going to hold my ruler upright and we are going to test out each ball from biggest to smallest. So we're going to start off with my tennis ball. I'm going to take each ball, release it in line from the top of the ruler, and let go. I'm not going to throw it. It's going to hit the floor and we'll see how high up it goes. All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and 3. Ready, let's try each one 2 times. Let's give it one more go. See if it does a different type of bounce. 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. All right, I'm going to check these out later and then react to see how high up it went. I can't tell from where I am and I need to watch it in slow motion. So we're going to go right ahead and we're going to try ball number 2. Here we go. That did not go very far. Let's see. Let's try it again. All right, so far, without even knowing the numbers, I say the tennis ball is in the lead. Let's try the ping pong ball. Here we go. Whoa. All right, ready? Take 2. Awesome. I am going to watch it in slow-mo. We're going to take a look. Now that we performed our experiment, let's go over the results and compare them to the predictions we made beforehand. So I just watched all of the videos in slow motion. I fast-forwarded to the bounce and I watched it and I saw what number it had passed during its first bounce after it hit the floor. So the one that bounced the lowest, sadly, was my dog toy. He did not make it very far. He did not even make it 1 inch off the ground. I gave him about ½ an inch. So he's in last place. Runner-up is the big tennis ball. Once he hit the ground, he bounced up to about 6 inches off the ground, and he is now in second. And then finally in first place, the highest bounce goes to the ping pong ball. Maybe you were right, maybe you were wrong, maybe you were spot on or surprised about the results. He bounced about 8 or 9 inches off the ground. So he was the bounciest ball of all. So from what I thought, I had a feeling this one wasn't going to get very high off the ground, but from my experience with ping pong balls, I had a feeling that this one was going to bounce the highest. From my experience, I know that these can get a lot of height once they hit a certain surface, and they can always bounce off into some crazy distance. So maybe you were right, maybe you were wrong. It doesn't really matter, but now we know the true results. So you can look for balls at your house, and then you can see which one is the bounciest. You might already have an idea which one is the bounciest since you know them already. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have fun doing your own experiments at home.